Yo, what's up, man? Hector here, strongestech.com. So, new day. Today's Friday. Got a full day today. So I've got coaching. I just finished up a quick little run, quick little workout snack. I went for my. But today I mixed it up a little bit. I do my normal walk. I slept in a little bit this morning, so didn't get up at 3:30 like I normally do. Woke up. Actually, I woke up at 2:50, but then fell back asleep. And ended up not waking up until 4:30. And then, so basically I kind of missed my walk time. I usually like to get up by 4 a.m. and do my walk. So kids are off of school today. And so what I focused on was I got just straight to work. Came into the office, did my readings, did all my commentary, took care of a little bit of work stuff for the Better Man program. And then after that, I didn't have to take kids to school. So I got out, went outside. It's a really nice day. A little chilly today. It's like 39. But the sun is out, no clouds, so it was kind of like a warm 39, you know, a little chilly. But I did a first 1.5 mile walk, and then I ran the last 2 miles. So I finished up with a little over 3.5 miles. So I just wrapped that up, and I've got oatmeal on the stove. So I've got my first meal coming up for the day, and I'll break down a little bit of what's inside there. But as soon as I'm done with that, I'm probably gonna have to pack it up and take it with me because I've got coaching at 9. And then after coaching, after that, I've got coaching calls from pretty much 9 a.m. until, you know, like 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And then I'll be getting into my training for the day. I'm gonna see if I can sneak in some kettlebell snatching like I did yesterday. So let's take a look at what I'm making for the oatmeal. All right, so here's the oatmeal. Nothing fancy. I'll break down some of the ingredients here in a little bit, but super simple. Just, these are the quick minute oats. And then I added some cinnamon and some other ingredients, but this is what I'm gonna be packing up and taking with me on the road. All right, man, so I just wrapped up 90 minutes of work. It's about 12:22 right now. And so I've been sitting for a little bit. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna knock out I've got a 30-minute break. Probably gonna make it an hour break though, because I'm gonna knock out my 100 snatches. So I'm gonna be working on 2 things today. I want to see if you can spot them. I was going to give them away of what I was going to do, but I want to see if you can spot what I'm doing different. And each set, I'm going to do something very small, okay? And I'll talk more, and then when I'm done, I'll talk about why I was making those different changes, those little tweaks, if you will. All right, but there's 2 subtle things that I'm gonna be doing each and every set. And that's gonna be my intention for today's practice. So again, 100 snatches a day sounds like a lot, but it's super simple. I'm doing a snatch, set is 10, 24 kilo, every 2 minutes. I'm getting my walking in between, so I'm getting my steps in, and I'm getting a little snack in after sitting down for more than 90 minutes. I was probably sitting down for almost 2 hours. And so essentially what my training kind of looks like right now is I'm hitting all 3 disciplines: kettlebell, barbell, body weight. So the kettlebell is gonna be the snatch. Body weight in between sets up, and then so barbell is obviously deadlift daily, right? Kettlebell is a snatch. I'm not doing Path to Sinister at the moment. I finished that up, take a little bit of a break, and I'm gonna work on snatches in the meantime. And then my body weight is I'm working on 2 movements, and I'm doing, I alternate, but I'm doing just a simple push and pull. So one day I'm doing dips and chin-ups. Next day I'm doing push-ups and chin-ups or rows, depending on how my elbow is all funky after 20 years of guys trying to break my arm. So it just depends on how my elbows are feeling. But that's essentially my routine. The only thing that's being structured in terms of like a program is the deadlift. The snatch is more of a practice. It's just 100 swings, sets of 10, like not a lot of thinking. So this is more of like a workout based, right? And then the dips, the pushes and the pulls, those have a little bit structure, but I give myself a lot of flexibility there. But getting ready to knock out 100 snatches. And so here we go. All right, man, so there's the snatches all done. It is, what, 5 till 1 o'clock. So now I'm gonna get ready to, so I'm gonna give you my thoughts, my breakdown, a little bit of what I was doing in the snatches. Hopefully you're able to see what I was doing there, but I'll break it down a little bit. I'll break it down why I was doing it that way, and just kind of what I was focusing on. But as of right now, I'm gonna take a little break. I'm going to, I'm gonna make some lunch, late lunch, so it's gonna be 1 o'clock. But I gotta get those calories, those carbs and proteins in. I'll give you a little sneak peek of what it is I'm gonna be having. So let's go, let's head to the kitchen. All right, bro, so here's what I got. Late lunch. Make sure I got my numbers right. So all I need is 3 ingredients for this meal, super simple meal. I like to keep my meals as simple as possible. Today I'm doing ground beef. So I'm gonna do 228 grams, which is about 8 ounces. And I'm doing the 90-10 lean. I'm gonna be switching to the 96% lean. The reason for that is not so much because fat is like bad. We all know that fat's not bad. But when I cut to a leaner meat, it allows me, I can eat more food throughout the daytime, okay? Because fat yields 9 calories per gram, right? So if I use a fattier meat, that means I can eat less food. And I need to eat to recover, right, between my training sessions. And so I'm gonna be going to a leaner meat. So I'm just gonna finish off the 90-10 that we have, and then I'm gonna be transitioning to more of just a super lean meat. So I try to get in like 1 red meat a day, and then I'll have like a chicken meal after this. But all I need is, I got ground beef, rice, and then frozen broccoli, right? Super simple, all right? So check this out. So I keep everything super simple, all right? So the rice I have pre-made. I use a rice cooker, and I prep that early, right? So I can set it, forget it, I don't have to worry about cooking it. And then how I do my broccoli is, this is just frozen broccoli. You can see here, I don't know if you can see that. It's just frozen, okay? This is like frozen broccoli, all right? So what I do is, I have a container, and I just put I keep this full, right? As soon as it gets empty, I fill it up. So I keep this full, and then I just leave it in the fridge. And then as time goes on, it defrosts. So all I gotta do is microwave this, and it's done. So the only thing I need to prep like this cooked all by itself in a rice cooker, right? So the only thing I gotta do is cook this. That's it, right? And to cook that, I'm gonna use a little bit of lemon pepper, but I'm gonna use my famous, not mine, but the famous Sweet Baby Ray's, and then sriracha sauce. This gives it a, this sweet, spicy, barbecue-y flavor, which is awesome, okay? So today I got 175 grams of rice, 2 cups veggies, and then 228 grams. And that's gonna be today's meal. All right, so let's dive into it. So here's how we get it done. So what I do here is I have my container, right? Turn on my scale, and I'm just gonna dump in 175 grams worth of rice. I don't track cups or anything like that. Grams is the most accurate. So I can literally get it down like to the T. I'm not super strict, like I stay within a specific calorie number or within a specific like a protein number. But I try to get as precise as I can. I did a whole episode on this about like knowing your numbers, right? Like you gotta know the numbers. You can't do this intuitive eating crap. No, hold on, let me back up. I'm all for intuitive eating, making healthier choices, but if you've got a specific goal, and like I do right now, I'm trying to lean out, trying to get to 10% body fat, I'm trying to get back to 190. If you have a specific goal, you need to plan your eating and your training by the numbers. Like there's no way around it. So that is 175 grams. 175 grams of rice. And then what I do with the veggies is I just take a handful, okay? I just take a handful. So that's about a cup. And I'm gonna do 2 cups, okay? So veggies, I don't get too concerned with tracking too much because veggies are free. Well, I say veggies are free, right? The majority of them are water. Majority of it's laced with fiber, so it's free. So here's what I do. I just take this and I dump it in the fridge. Put my plate on top so things don't splatter everywhere, right? So put that in. And I'm gonna go 2 minutes. Let that cook. Now, we're gonna go red meat. So, pretty simple. Put the lid on, zero it out, and then I just chop. This knife sucks. I don't know if y'all remember the Ginsu knife. This is a Ginsu knife. I don't even know where I got this from. I got like a little collection. They're supposed to be like the sharpest knives. This knife is no longer sharp. So anyway, 228, right? So I'll just dump all this. It's about, you know, all guesstimates is like half. All right, so 228 grams. You can see that's 231. Take a little bit away. 228, bam. So this tiny little piece I took out goes with the next one. And that'll be my serving for the next day. So now, into the frying pan. And when I'm cooking red meat, I don't add any like oil or anything like that because the fat from the red meat is naturally going to like give it its own lubricant. Is it lubricant? greasy, I don't know. So just gonna let that sit there. It'll create its own fat, right? Lubricant, is that the word? Lubricant? I don't know. Lubricant sounds kind of gross. Okay, so veggies, rice. So this is like pretty much done. Right, let me see. Yeah, broccoli's warm. So here's what I do. I just mix that up. I might nuke this for like another 30 seconds. So I use this Old Thomas lemon pepper. It's the best. And I'll just sprinkle a little bit on like so. And then what I do right about now, when it's kind of like half cooked on one side, but still raw on the other, add the good stuff. So sriracha, and then sweet baby rays. I don't have a specific amount that I put here. I just do a few swirls. I just do that. Then sriracha sauce. Same thing, I don't have a specific amount. I just do swirl. Okay, I'll do like 1, 2, 3. So you can see how it's kind of creating its own, like, what I like when the fat kind of comes out of the meat, and then that fat kind of mixes with the barbecue sauce and the sriracha sauce, and it creates like a gravy kind of. Dude, it's so good. This is like almost done. All right, this is pretty much done. Here comes the best part. So now, just pour it all over the top. And you can see I've got like all this like extra like kind of gravy, and I just dump that over the top. That's it, bro. I don't even know what I call that. Spicy barbecue, broccoli rice, just thrown into a bowl. And then we're gonna down it with a little Topo Chico. Man, it's such a nice day out today. So it's like 50, I don't know, what is it? Hello. Hi. It's like 57, 55, 57 out today. Almost like no clouds in the sky, you can see behind me. One of the things I love about living in Corpus is like the weather down here during the winter is it's pretty much like California weather. I never forget the first time I went to California. It was my first competition for jiu-jitsu. I went to the World Championships, the BJJ Worlds. It was the first year that the Worlds were in the US. This was in 2007. And it was in Long Beach, California. So we flew into Santa Barbara, or I think we flew into LA, drove to Santa Barbara, and then stayed with Frangia, who's our coach out in California, Paragon Jiu-Jitsu. And dude, when I got off the plane and we got there, I was like, dude, it's like kind of chilly here. And this was mid-August, right? Which is, you know, pretty much the hottest time of the year. Mid-August. Felt amazing. We were there like 2, 3 in the afternoon. I was like, dude, I think I need a sweater. It's kind of chilly. And that's what it feels like here right now. It's really nice. Anyway, busy day. Had coaching this morning. Wrapped up with that. Came home. Had coaching calls. up until just right, maybe about an hour or so ago. As soon as I was done with the coaching calls, I did my snatches, as you saw me do. Little 19-minute, well, exactly 20 on the dot today. 20-minute session, little snack, break up the sitting. And then after that, I had a couple more calls. As soon as I finished that up, made my late lunch. It was amazing. That combination of like Sweet Baby Ray's barbecue sauce and their sriracha sauce gives it this, I don't know, man, nice spicy barbecue taste. It's amazing. You should try it out. So just down that. Now I'm on my I do a little 10-minute walk after I eat. Something I learned from Stan Efferding's vertical diet. So snatching. Let's talk about that. So if you didn't notice, what I was doing was I was working on my hand placement. How I was inserting my hand at the top of the snatch. There's a few, so there's essentially two hand placements, if you will. You have more of like a horizontal grip, right? Where the kettlebell's more or less aligned with your callus line. And that's typically where you can get a good crush on the bell, right? So this is a grip that you would use for kettlebell presses, deadlifts, and like heavy get-ups, right? And so I was kind of cycling from that horizontal grip to a false grip. And that false grip's where you get your hand really deep inside. And I talk about this in both my courses, Snatch Blueprint and Kettlebell Berserk, which is all about the double jerk, right? So we have to know how to use different hand placements. So the crush grip, I was practicing that. That's something that I like to use. I like to work on the fly, attaining that position when I'm doing heavy snatches. Now I wasn't doing heavy snatches today. What is heavy snatches? Well, obviously it's all relative, right? But for me, what I would consider heavy snatches, let's give it like a beginner, intermediate, like advanced, right? So beginner kettlebeller, you've been training for about 6 months, going on a year, and you're getting into some snatching. I would consider a heavy bell for you probably a 24. Okay, that would be your heavy bell. Your light bell would be a 16. Your medium bell would be a 20. Okay, that'd be your beginner. So intermediate athlete. Yes, you're an athlete. Intermediate athlete would be pretty much 4 kilos up. 4 kilos up, right? So we're looking at 20, 24, 28, right? Medium or light, medium, heavy. And then for an elite, high level kettlebeller, someone that's been training close to 5 years, you've got a lot of reps underneath your belt. You've done the snatch test. You've owned the snatch test. You can pretty much do a snatch test at any time. That's an elite level kettlebeller. I would go up plus 8 kilos. Okay, so heavy snatching, you know, we're talking 36 to 40 kilo. That would be your heavy bell. Medium bell would be 32, and then your light bell would be 28. And so I'm just using my snatch test bell, right, which is 24 kilo, because I'm not trying to train, right? I'm just practicing, right? 10 snatches every 2 minutes. As you can see, my heart rate was barely even, I think the average heart rate was like 109, 115, something like that. I could keep in a conversation the entire time. I could keep a conversation the entire time during that. It was not challenging at all. The whole intention of it was to break up that monotony of sitting. Okay, that was the main priority, main reason there. So that horizontal grip, more of that crush grip, is good for heavy snatches. Because when you get to that top of that lockout, we want to have a nice strong stick as you stick that bell, right? Whenever you're going to do higher volume snatching, a snatch test, which is usually going to be like 24 for men, 12 to 16 for ladies, I like to get more into that false grip position. That false grip position allows you to completely relax your hand, okay? So it's not gonna overtax the flexors, right? Because your grip is gonna, like, let's just talk in context of a snatch test. Your grip is gonna give out before your legs give out, right? I mean, or your lungs if you're not conditioned enough. More than likely, it's gonna be your grip that gives out first. So, I like to use that false grip because it helps me relax my grip. Helps me relax my grip as I do the snatches. And so I was practicing today, getting in and out of those hand placements, right? The insertion of the bell. So if you want to know more about this, you should check out our course, Snatch Blueprint. I'll drop the link in the description. It's a full-on detailed course. If you want to know everything there is to know about the kettlebell snatch, that's the course to do that. It's even got training plans and programs that come along with it that guide you from beginner snatch plans to more advanced high-level snatch plans. So that's what I was practicing today. That was the skill set. I always like to have some kind of intention for my practice for the day, and that was that for the snatch. I was also, there's a secondary thing I was focusing on, and it was trying to get the bell to float straight up. So I was working on kind of like the high pull, right? I was working on the high pull, and then from there, opening and inserting my hand. I don't know if you noticed that. So, one thing I do from time to time when I was doing these 100 snatches a day is in the middle of the week, which is typically when you're stronger or you're at your strongest, so like a Wednesday, Thursday, middle of the week I'd go up plus 4 kilos or plus 8 kilos. So I would go up 28, 32, and I would keep the same volume, 10 every 2 minutes. I worked my way up to Wednesday was a 36 kilo. And it was the first time that I'd done, it was the first time I'd really done that in a long time, 100 snatches with a 36. You know, granted it was done in 20 minutes, but felt great. My hands took a little bit of a beating. Didn't get any tears or blisters, but it was definitely a little bit of an awakening because I hadn't snatched that heavy in that time. I rarely do sets of 10 with a 36, but that's kind of what eventually I worked up to. So that's it, man. Coming to the end of my walk here. So I highly encourage you, if you're doing snatches, practice putting your hand inside there, in the hand. Practice on how to insert your hand. Crush grip, false grip. If you want to know exactly how to do that, check out our course, Snatch Blueprint. I go through all the different grips, how to grip the bell, how to go through all that. There's a very specific way that you grip the bell. A very specific way that you grip the bell, kind of like a pre-setup, right? I always talk about how the setup is most important. Fabio Zona said it's the first repetition, right? It's even the last repetition. So there's a very specific way I like to grip the bell to get into different positions. But then the skill is also being able to switch on the fly even when you don't grip in the right position, right? So that's it, man. Coming to the end of my walk. I've got one more 90-minute block of work. After that, I'm gonna head to the gym, and we got those deadlifts. Talk to you in a bit. All right, dude. So heading out on the road again. Coming to the end of the day. It is 5:07. Got another coaching session. Close the day. We just got one coaching session left. Gotta get my deadlifts in. Contemplating jiu-jitsu tonight. I missed jiu-jitsu on Wednesday. And on Friday nights we have nogi. So I brought my nogi stuff. We'll see how the rest of the night goes. Hopefully I can make some time to get to jiu-jitsu. But pretty much the work day is done. Videos edited. They are uploading as we speak. Emails, rough drafts have been written, and all calls done. Been a busy day. Friday's always a really busy day. My busiest days of the week are Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday. Those are my busiest days. Those are the days where I have the majority of all my coaching calls, onboarding calls, coaching sessions. Mondays and Thursdays I leave open for like myself, focus more on creativity, creation of stuff, products, brainstorming. That's what I leave those days open for. So I got a little snack. My snack that I'm gonna be hitting up today. These are my favorite little guilty pleasures. These Lenny and Larry, I think they're called. Lenny and Larry complete cookies. So this one I have here, and it smells so dang good. This one here is oatmeal raisin. Now, here's why I measure and weigh everything, okay? So, you cannot trust what's on the label sometimes. So for instance, this Lenny and Larry's cookie, and it doesn't make a huge deal, but it's still not what it says. So here's something to be aware of when it comes to your foods that you're consuming. Here's something to be aware of when it comes to supplements that you're taking. Is there's no guarantee that you're getting what they say is on the package, all right? So we all are familiar with the Food and Drug Administration, like here in the States, right? Food and drug, you've got two sides. You got the food side, then you got the drug side. Drug side's highly regulated, you know? Pharmaceutical side, we know not a lot of good things from the pharmaceutical side, right? But here's one thing that is certain. What they say is in like the prescription or whatever has to be in there. So if they say there's so many milligrams of X, Y, and Z, it's regulated. They have to have that much of the amount of measurement there. Okay, I'm not saying drugs are good. I'm just saying the way it's regulated is it has to be that. The food side, there's no regulation. There's no stringent regulation. So for instance, if you and I were to go and buy a frozen pepperoni pizza or buy a box of chocolate chip cookies, there's no guarantee that you're gonna get the same amount of chocolate chips on your cookie that I'm gonna get in my cookie. Make sense? And in fact, what they say is on the label, to my understanding, they only have to own up to like, I think it's like 10 to 20% of what they claim is actually in the package. So if they say there's 50 grams of protein in a serving of protein powder, they only have to have 10 to 20% of that actual protein. The rest of it's just filler, you know? So they only really need to have, dude, what, 20 grams or so, and the rest could be filler. So the things to be aware of. And so the reason why I'm telling you this is because, and the reason why I weigh everything to the gram versus like cups and whatnot, is because these Lenny and Larry cookies, smells so good. Lenny and Larry cookies, one serving, so it breaks it up into 2 servings. You can either do half the cookie, so it gives you the numbers, right? Like half the cookie is 57 grams. 57 grams is like 210 calories or something like that. And then the, you know, the proteins and the carbs. And then if you eat the whole cookie, it's 420 calories, 114 grams. So normally I would just like, okay, well, I'm gonna eat the whole cookie, so that's all 114 grams, and 420 calories. Well, today I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take that cookie out, take it out of the package, then I'm gonna weigh that cookie. So turns out one cookie, or at least this one, isn't 114 grams. It was 120, 121 grams. And the calories, it was like a 22 calorie increase. Now, that seems insignificant, which we've already talked about insignificant things in the small things episode. These little small things add up over time. An additional 22 calories, let's say you're eating foods out of packages and whatnot, and you're just following what the label says and you're not weighing it, you could be consuming, and you do that 4 or 5 times throughout the day, you know, a snack and then whatever food that you're consuming, you do that throughout the day, man, you're talking an extra 100 calories, maybe even upwards to 200 calories a day that you're consuming that you're not aware of, and you wonder why you can't lose weight. You wonder why you can't lean out. You're wondering why you can't lose those last few stubborn pounds of belly fat. Because you're not measuring your food. It's because you don't know the numbers. We've already talked about this, right? You gotta know the numbers. If you're gonna be hitting a specific goal, you gotta know those numbers. And so, that's why I highly recommend, man, you gotta track, you gotta weigh some of this stuff, because you have no clue, you're just guessing. And I always equate it to a bank account, right? What would happen if you just kind of guessed your way through your financial budget? It's like, well, you know, I think I have this much in there and I think I'm spending this much money. What would happen? I mean, it wouldn't turn out very well, right? I hope that camera's been on me. Wouldn't turn out very well, right? So, anywho, pulling up to the gym. This is a little something I thought I'd share with you on the way. I got one last coaching session, and then the day will pretty much be done. And then I'm gonna see if I can get my deadlifts done pretty quick. And then see if I can squeeze in some jiu-jitsu time. My wife's running her podcast tonight, so I got some free time. So that's it, man. I'm gonna enjoy this oatmeal raisin cookie, and then after that I just got one more meal for the day, and then I'll be done. All right, so cheers.
Deadlift.